Today I'm going to be doing my 20,000 sub Q&A. At the time of making this video, I'm actually already at 25,000 subs, which is insane. And I was meant to make one at 10k as well, but didn't get around to it. So everyone who left comments either at the 10k or the 20k mark, thank you. I'm going to answer all of your questions. Sorry I haven't done many videos recently. I've had a lot of university work to do, like writing my final year research project. This isn't my typical like highly informational video, but there will still be some very good advice in here. It won't be very highly edited, so if you have a short attention span, maybe this isn't one for you. But if you're interested in hearing my answers to these questions that people have asked me, stick around. But enough of that, let's get into the questions. Alright, so first question is from Gerard O'Reilly. He says, first, do you have any advice for bulking while working a full-time job? He's struggling with eating 2,500 calories in the evening time while working. And secondly, what's my opinion on creatine? So that's a lot of calories you have to eat in the evening time. 2,500 calories in pretty much one meal, sounds like. My advice would definitely be liquid calories. They're going to really save you here. At all the points in my lifting journey when I've like really been stuck trying to gain weight, what has helped me break through those plateaus is liquid calories. So making like big smoothies with a bunch of like milk or even cream, which sounds crazy, but cream has so many calories in it that can really help. I like to put berries, bananas, peanut butter in there. A big spoon of peanut butter can have several hundred calories. So if you put like a couple of those in a smoothie, maybe with like 2 bananas, a couple hundred grams of berries, and then fill the rest up with milk, maybe a bit of cream in there even. And then you could put like protein powder in there, even mascara, although I don't recommend it. Honey if you want to, and that's going to be at least 1,000 calories. You could probably make that up to like 1,500 calories. So you could drink that like after you've had your main dinner, which you would want to be about 1,000 to 1,500 calories. So that could be half a pound of ground beef or mince, which is about 250 grams, and then like a cup of rice, and in total that's going to make about 1,000 calories. Then you could also have like some fruit. You could cook that meat in like plenty of butter or olive oil or whatever you use. You know, don't be shy with your cooking fats when you're bulking. That's just going to squeeze little extra calories in there. It's going to help you. And also while you're working a full-time job, like you can have snacks throughout the day. Maybe you bring like a smoothie to work with you. Don't leave it too long because they get kind of gross if you don't drink them shortly after making it. But snacks like nuts are really good. You know, they're quite high protein, high calorie. Fruits like avocado are good to have, you know, with your breakfast or whatever. Cottage cheese is a decent one for like the macros. It's not super high in calories. Other than that, you can like drink milk throughout the day if you tolerate milk. And you also want to emphasize your digestion. You want to make sure that you're actually absorbing everything that you're eating. So you can use digestive enzymes either like as a supplement, or you can eat things like pineapple, which contains bromelain, which is going to help you digest protein. I also recommend walking after each meal, which is going to help your digestion, and going for fattier cuts of meat. So instead of like a lean ground beef or mince, you know, go for like a 20%, 25% fat version, and fatty like steaks, like a ribeye, fatty fish like salmon or mackerel or sardines, rather than the leaner ones. So wherever possible, you know, max out your calories with quality whole foods. I don't recommend, you know, eating a bunch of junk food. It's easy to bulk if you eat a bunch of trash. The hard part of it is getting a lot of calories from high quality foods. Okay, and my opinion on creatine, I think just about everyone should take it unless you have a real problem with male pattern baldness in your family, because creatine can possibly increase DHT. It's not conclusive data at all, but a lot of people take, I think it's like one study, they take the results of that study and they conclude that creatine can increase DHT and baldness. So if your family, you know, has gone bald at like a young age, then maybe don't take it. But other than that, it will give you a nice boost in your workouts, in your gym performance, and in your muscle growth. Next two are quite similar, so I've lumped them together. Big V asks who I look up to as inspiration for when I train. And Wendell Gabrielle asks what fictional things, characters, movies, anime, comics inspire me to work out or to attain a certain physique. So basically, what's my inspiration for training? At the most basic level, I guess I think it's just unacceptable for you to be out of shape and physically incapable. You know, you are blessed with the body that you're given, and assuming that you're not disabled and you have all your limbs and everything, I think it's a real waste for you to not like see what you're capable of and at least be physically capable to like take care of yourself, defend yourself, yourself and the people you care about. Like if you're an able-bodied man, there is just no excuse not to be physically quite impressive, like to be strong, to be fit, to have a powerful body. As for like people I look to for inspiration, in real life, that would be people like Alpha Destiny. I've been watching his channel for years and years, probably since I was like 16. Before I ever really started lifting, I was still watching his content. He goes by Alex Leonidas now on YouTube. Also, the other noble natties like Natural Hypertrophy, Jeffrey Verity Schofield, Alan Thrall is another one I really like, Alex Bromley, Eric Bugenhagen is a great one, and some of the more old school bodybuilders, a lot of the Bronze Era lifters. I really like watching the Chinese weightlifting team like Liu Xiaojun, Li Daiyin. Those guys, their physiques are insane and like incredibly strong pound for pound. So those are some of my inspirations. And then in anime, it's some of my favorite physiques are like Garo, of course, Toji, Yoma Hashimoto from the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure OVA. Gon, Adult Gon has a really awesome physique too. And then also the Hercules statue, the Farnese Hercules. I love that statue. I think that's an amazing, like strong, powerful physique. So those are some of my inspirations. Lunar Rhythm asks about isometrics and plyometrics and how I would implement it in my training. I don't know a whole lot about these, to be honest. I'll start with isometrics. I know for calisthenics movements, obviously a lot of them are like holds, you know, like front lever, planche. You're kind of holding a difficult position, iron cross, like the ring movements. They're all isometrics. If you're doing them as kind of calisthenics skills, I'd put them at the start of the workout. Skill work should usually go at the start while you're still fresh. You know, your nervous system isn't fatigued at all. Also, I think isometrics can be good for getting blood flow into like the joints, especially for things like a crucifix hold. That's quite hard on like your elbow joints, your shoulders. So you would want to condition your joints and your connective tissue to be able to handle all that stress that's going through them. And you can kind of build up in easier like progressions up to those more difficult forms of isometric holds like you see in calisthenic skills. But with everything, you know, ease into it. You know, you don't want to go straight into trying to do a full planche because you'll probably snap up your elbows. Also, isometrics are mentioned by Mike Mensa. He says to exhaust all three types of contractions, so like concentric, isometric, and eccentric contractions. So he says you should go to concentric failure and then you should hold the weights like at certain points in the contraction, so like at the peak of a bicep curl, for example. And then once you've exhausted that contraction, then you move on to eccentric contractions where you're lowering the weight under control and someone else is helping you to lift it up and you're just lowering it. I think that's excessive, to be honest. I think that's causing, well, it certainly causes a lot of muscle damage, which will impair your ability to recover from that workout, and you will have to wait longer after that workout before you're ready to go again, which is part of why when you train like Mike Mensa, you know, you have to leave so long between workouts because you're doing so much damage to the muscle. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're putting more tension on the muscle, which is what really causes hypertrophy. Tension is where you are approaching failure. The reps are slowing down despite your best efforts to keep contracting at full force. You're trying to contract the muscle, but you know, gravity and just your muscle failing leads to the muscle lengthening, and you're trying to fight against that lengthening. That's muscle mechanical tension. So as long as you approach failure, you know, really close to failure, ideally with good form, just normal full range of motion reps, I think that's probably all you need to do and not worry too much about isometrics. Plyometrics, again, I don't know a huge amount about it. Plyometrics means kind of very quickly lengthening and contracting. So a box jump is not a plyometric. That's where a box jump is where you're just standing and then you jump up onto a box. A plyometric would be you jump and then you land, and like as soon as possible after landing, you bounce back up, you jump up onto the box. That would be an isometric. It's like landing on the ground and immediately pushing off. It's kind of speed work, explosive. I think it's kind of training like your springiness, your stretch reflex. I don't know a huge amount about it, but again, you should put it at the start of your workout. The workout order should be explosive stuff first, and then skills like calisthenics holds, and then you can move on to your strength stuff, like the most important strength movements, and then you can do like hypertrophy stuff where you're not lifting as heavy weight, and finally at the end then you can do like muscular endurance stuff. And to implement plyometrics in your training, I guess I would just do it at the start of each workout in the gym. Jim Wendler, the author of the 531 books and those programs, he puts jumps and throws at the start of his programs, like the start of the workout. So you do a couple sets of box jumps and then you go into your main workout. So you're getting like that explosive work in, and then you're working on the strength stuff. This guy, whose name I can't pronounce, asks me if stretching and training for mobility and flexibility is required or is it only recommended, as a guy who wants muscle hypertrophy and long-term health. I wouldn't say it's required. It's generally a good thing, especially for general health. You want to be able to move freely. I've heard the argument that all you need to do is like full range of motion and maybe extended range of motion exercises like under load. That's what people like Knees Over Toes guy seem to recommend, doing like very deep ATG split squats or Jefferson curls, that kind of thing, where you're going into really deep stretches like while you're holding a weight, and you do that like instead of static stretching like touching your toes or whatever. That sounds good to me. I think that makes sense. If you have an area that's like especially tight and lacking in mobility, I think you should probably train that area through a maximum range of motion. Over time that will improve. So with the Jefferson curl, for example, maybe you have tight hamstrings, you could do like a bigger and bigger deficit. You could have like a steeper slant if you're using a slant board for that, and basically bending over further and further. That is one way to get more mobile. I know Knees Over Toes guy said he never trained for the splits, but he can do the splits just by doing all of his, split squats and that kind of thing, where he's doing very deep stretches like under load, so holding a weight. I've never been particularly consistent with stretching myself. I try to use a big range of motion. So far I have been okay, but if that's something that you want to prioritize, that's really important to you, like you want to be able to do splits or something because it's just cool, then you can train specifically for the splits or whatever else you want to do, as long as you don't let yourself become like extremely tight and completely inflexible. And to avoid that, you need to use your body in all the range of motion that it's meant to be used in. So move your body around as much as possible in weird positions, weird range of motion, and preferably under load. And you can progressively overload that, very carefully. Silent Climber asks, which character physique do I follow? So I kind of covered this earlier. I don't really follow a particular character physique, but my favorite ones are like Adult Gon, Yoma Hashimoto, and probably Garo. That's probably my top three. So I like small waist, fairly big legs. That's Adult Gon has nice big legs. Garo has no legs, but I don't want his legs. Not ridiculously massive bodybuilder legs, but just like solid kind of tree trunk legs. And then I really like the kind of shelf region, which is like upper chest, shoulders, upper back, traps, and neck. That's probably my favorite part of the body to develop. I think that looks like the coolest. If someone has, big shoulders, big neck, big traps, and upper back, I think that's an awesome look. I don't care too much about like abs. That'd be cool to have. Arms are also very cool. Chest, I already have a decent chest from doing loads of push-ups when I was younger, and recently I've made my upper chest a lot better by doing a lot of incline dumbbell bench pressing. I don't do overhead press, which I do recommend people do overhead press, but I got a neck injury from it about a year ago and I haven't really been able to do it since. It always hurts my neck, so I've been doing incline bench instead of overhead pressing to hit the front delts. But anyway, those are the characters that I like, although I'm not following a particular physique. They're just kind of my physique inspiration. And the Lazy Noob asks, how bad is it if I go to the gym first time but I don't know what to do? And it was like he's losing the ability to take advantage of his newbie gains. Can he still do a novice program like Alpha Destiny and progress with the weight he carries? So I mean, everyone doesn't really know what they're doing like first time they go to the gym. We've all been there. You get in the gym and you see all the machines and you don't know how they work. Even recently, like there's been some machines that I just don't know how they work, and that's fine. You learn over time. I think the barbell is mostly what you need to figure out, and you just need a few basic movements like a squat, a hinge, horizontal press, horizontal pull, vertical pull, and then you can throw in like some curls for arms, extensions for triceps, things like shrugs for your traps, and most of that can be done with just a simple barbell. But yeah, I do recommend a novice program like the Alpha Destiny program. I think is good. I also really like Grayskull LP as a basic program because it has some AMRAP sets in it, so you get to go to failure and see like where your rep maxes are with the current weights that you're using. A lot of people use starting strength or strong lifts 5x5. Those are what I used right at the start, but I plateaued fairly quickly with those because the rate of progression is a bit unsustainable. Grayskull I think is a bit better. So if you're in this guy's position, don't worry about like going to the gym without knowing what to do. You'll figure it out. And also just start with a basic program like Alpha Destiny. Literally just start with the barbell and then add like 2.5 kilos where you can every workout or every week. For some movements you're going to progress much quicker, like squat and deadlift. For some it'll be much slower, like barbell curls for example. And you don't have to just stick with the barbell. Try out a bunch of different equipment, the dumbbells, the easy bar, bar, machines, bodyweight stuff, and figure out what feels good for your body. For me, like, easy bar curls feel much better than barbell curls, and dumbbell curls feel even better than easy bar curls. So I generally stick to dumbbell curls, and I also like machine preacher curls. Straight bar and easy bar, they're kind of stressful on my wrists when I'm trying to curl them. So that's something I've learned about myself, and now I can choose the equipment that fits my body best. So yeah, just pick a basic program, progress gradually over time, make sure you're improving your performance as much as you can, figure out the movements and the equipment that works best for your body, and yeah, you'll be fine. You'll figure it out. And you can speak to the other people in the gym as well, and they'll probably be happy to help you, especially the big scary looking dudes, generally the nicest guys. Okay, thank you for watching. If you have any questions you'd like answered in detail like this, you can leave them in the comments below. Maybe I'll do like a 30k subscribers Q&A, 35k maybe. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you found some of these answers useful and helpful. Let me know if you have any insights in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.